Hi everyone, I am Chelsea Taylor and welcome to In the Kitchen. We are actually here today with Jose Mendin, founding partner of the Pubbelly Group. And the reason I say Pubbelly Group is it is now, how many restaurants, Jose?
It's going to be 5 next week.
Going to be 5 next week. Right now we are sitting in a block that actually has 3 restaurants around us that are all closely integrated kind of under the umbrella of Pubbelly. So I'm going to let Jose tell us a little bit about Pubbelly and how it got started and how all the restaurants kind of came to be.
Well,
What is Pubbelly?
What is Pubbelly? Pubbelly is, well, the name comes from a gastropub, which is like a very in concept right now.
Very much so.
A casual tavern with really chef-driven food. And belly comes from pork belly. And
The healthy stuff.
Yeah. And we basically, wanted to do like a chef-driven tavern in Miami. We're using a lot of pork because of our heritage. I'm from Puerto Rico. My partner is from Spain, and my other partner is from Puerto Rico as well. And also,
So you found the location in Miami to be
well,
a no-brainer as far as where you wanted to pick your place.
Yeah, we found this little spot here in the Sunset Harbor neighborhood, which is was 2 years ago was dead.
Right.
In terms of
Having the shops or
gastronomy,
anything around here.
shops and stuff like that. And we found it like very affordable. Just, it was small. We wanted to do it all on our own. Like we cook, we serve you, everything.
Everything's personalized. Very different than what we're used to.
Exactly.
With the chain
And
restaurants that.
where I come from, because of working in my past and the restaurants that I worked, multi-million-dollar restaurants
Exactly.
in Vegas, in hotels, in Miami, in hotels. We really want to get it away from all that. We were all tired of the same thing.
So even working in that, you kind of found that was not what your ultimate business model and goal was going to be.
Business-wise, you see the potential, and you see what, for example, what sells, what don't sell, and how these operations, and companies run.
Right.
So you take that with you.
You take that with you. So it's amazing learning experience.
Exactly. But we wanted to do something a lot more personal.
Right.
And that's why, we took this small space, we put all our savings.
Right. So you guys invested your own money. You didn't try to go out and find any outside investors?
No investors. We put the money ourselves. So we knew the risk.
Sold your clothes, sold your car.
Well,
lived out of the back of here.
we not like
Pretty
that,
much.
but pretty much. Like we came from we had high positions in good companies, so we came from.
So it was a big risk.
Yeah, it was a big risk.
But at the end of the day, you kind of said, all right, do I want to work for this big company and be in this corporate world, or do I want to have this on my own?
No, these companies would have never give us shares or made us partners. So we knew that we could do the same what we're doing, but for our own.
Exactly.
And that's why we took this space, and we put a lot of love into this space, and we still do every day.
So you started with just this space, though, just Pubbelly, which is
Pubbelly. It's
not humongous.
No, it's
but it's
small.
personable. It's small, and it does bring that total gastropub feel. The brick and everything like that. Like the interior is total gastropub. It's great.
Which is very different in Miami, because you don't get you don't get
exactly. This is kind of a more northern. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That northern feel, whereas Miami is more that modern
and
deco.
And the layout that we went for comes from me and my partners. We were actually living in Chicago, and we were going to all these taverns.
Say that, yeah.
And we were like, well, look at all these people, what they doing here, nothing like this in Miami. And I was working with one of my partners in Chicago, and we bumped into my other partner, Andreas, in a bar in Chicago, and we knew each other from Miami for 10 years.
Yeah.
And he was working for a very high-end hotel over there called Elysian at the time.
So he was living there.
He was living there
in Chicago.
We went there to open a new restaurant for a company, and we bumped into each
was
other.
fate.
Yeah, and we talked about it, and a couple of months later, he found this spot. We came to look at it. We fell in love.
So he brought his vision into it too. So what is that like?
The three of us, you
guys literally, it was easy.
We throw
around the ideas.
We throw ideas to each other. We have no. I say we're not gonna be scared if the ideas gonna be thrown down. Some work, some don't. But at least we have 3 opinions. And
you all come from those different 3 backgrounds.
Exactly.
That is really strong to have the diversity. And like I said, him coming from Chicago, because that's all I can think when I sit in like here. It's nice because it's not like being in Florida all the time and sitting outside at a tiki bar, which is great. Don't get me wrong, or in everything that's whitewashed with mirrors. but this
No,
feels warm.
Sergio,
You know?
Sergio comes from, he was born and raised in Spain, mostly in Madrid. He came to Miami in like 2001, so he loved it here, he stayed. Andreas was born and raised like me in Puerto Rico, but he comes from a European father and a Colombian mother. And he was raised in a restaurant because his dad was one of the most famous restaurateur in Puerto Rico, chef. So we all very different, and we all have different
Backgrounds,
and
diversity.
and talent that we bring to the company. Sergio is the designer of all the places. He's the one who he sees a room and he designs it completely.
The space, the interior space,
and it's amazing. I'm more, the food.
The food side of everything.
Exactly.
Right.
And Andreas is, he's
the mastermind.
He's the host. He's the host.
Yeah.
He's the one who controls the office.
Right.
And all that.
So tell us about, so you started Pubbelly, but then you decided that you were going to expand to the Pubbelly Sushi and then Barcelona. So tell us about how you knew that you were ready for the expansion, what risk that was involved with investing more money, how you got that kind of capital to, expand the business.
Well, we saw the potential with Pubbelly right away.
Because it was automatically
it was automatically
success.
Yeah, and
which is great.
And we recovered the money that we invested pretty fast.
How quickly was the turnaround on your?
I would say like 4 or 5 months.
Wow, that's fast. Yeah, that's great.
So, we basically.
So you're like, we know what we're doing.
We're
not idiots.
we didn't have that much staff. We were doing everything ourselves, so that helped. And we saw the potential of the area. We saw that the locals in Miami were looking for a place to get away from the tourists.
From it. There's parking here.
But a lot of them don't have cars.
That's true.
It's perfect for them because it's like an oasis. You know, for them.
Was there any space, anything here?
Well, there was a restaurant
that you had to kick out.
Yeah, there was a restaurant in the corner that failed.
Yeah.
Maybe by like 4 months out of when we opened Pubbelly, they closed, and there was an empty space in the other corner that used to be a restaurant.
Right.
That we saw potential.
Okay.
We actually have a very good relationship with the landlord, and he believed in us.
He kind of gave you that opportunity.
He gave us,
you've been so successful here, and money for you is money for him, and it's great.
Yeah, he's worked. He worked with us, and he's been very nice.
That's great.
So, basically, we opened Pubbelly Sushi in Barcelona at the same time.
At the same time.
Yeah, they were.
That would have scared me to death.
That was 3 weeks apart.
But you felt like that was.
This is what we did. In Barcelona, we are.
Now, why is it named Barcelona?
It's named Barceloneta because of Barcelona.
Yeah.
And then the chef.
Was one of you from Barcelona?
No.
Or had been?
No, from Barcelona because we're gonna do Spanish food, and one of the chefs. Well, their chef partner, Juliana, is from Puerto Rico.
Okay.
So there's a town in Puerto Rico called Barceloneta.
Oh, that's cool.
Which was founded by my family.
Oh my God.
My ancestors, yeah. So,
So it was close for you guys.
I told them, it's funny because they own Manuel, our other partner there, and the head guy there, who was the one who brought in most of the money, and who's the manager, and he's the host, and he's from Madrid.
Okay.
So it was a little hard to convince him to name his restaurant, his only restaurant, Barceloneta.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, we went with the concept. We all sit down and we all talk about the concept.
And he lost.
And he lost. But he saw it too. He saw the.
It's democracy.
Yeah. And he saw the potential with the name and the concept that we were going for. We're going for like a really laid back tapas, Spanish tapas restaurant, and they have Juliana. They have Juliana, which is a talented chef, and she worked in Spain and lived in Spain for a long time. They have Manuel, and they have Daniela, which is coming from working with Manuel as well. So those three are our partners there, and they're the ones that run it.
Okay.
Basically.
Right.
So we are founding partners of Pubbelly, and we work together, and we help them open it. And we did the concept with them, but they manage that, and then if they have any problems or they have any, emergencies, whatever, we will go in and help them out.
Okay.
But basically, they're becoming, in a couple of years, I think they're going to become their own restaurant group. You
Okay,
know?
I hear you saying.
You know?
So then, but Pubbelly Sushi seems like it's really strongly tied to
No.
Pubbelly still. So
Pubbelly
you guys are
Sushi-
very closely.
Pubbelly Sushi is an expansion of Pubbelly.
Okay.
You know?
So that's
What-
what's funny. Pubbelly Sushi, like that to
Yeah.
me seems like a little bit of an oxymoron. And
Well-
especially you with your background, you have a lot of background in sushi.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Pubbelly is like more of that pork tavern kind of feel, and then you're putting sushi on the end of it.
What we wanted to do there, what was our
Goal.
what's our, you know what I mean? You're gonna edit this. Sergio.
Come sit down.
So Pubbelly Sushi, what we're gonna do is make a neighborhood sushi restaurant, and make it a lot more fun and different.
Okay.
So we bring the pub aspect to it, and a lot of people call it a sushi pub instead of a sushi restaurant.
Which I've never heard
You know.
before anywhere. So you've really kind of taken a new realm and trying to market something that's
Yeah.
completely unheard of.
And for us, sushi has been comes natural because of our last 10 years of working for restaurants like Nobu and Sushi
Right.
Samba, and we brought the last piece key for the restaurant was bringing Yuki, which is our only partner at Pubbelly Sushi, and he was the sushi chef at a restaurant with me in Vegas.
Okay.
We worked
'Cause
together.
your training is impeccable. You have the background from Nobu, which is a huge sushi like conglomerate. Everybody knows who Nobu is. And then you were also a really integral part in Sushi Samba.
Yeah, I
correct?
worked for Nobu for 3 years. I opened Nobu Miami. I worked at Nobu London. Kind of got away from the Japanese for a little bit, and I went to work at Spain. Came back from Spain, and they offered me the head chef position at Sushi Samba Miami.
Right.
Later became one of the corporate chefs for Sushi Samba.
Right. So that's your baby, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, like I told you, it's a lot of stuff that that we know is good, and we know we can bring to Miami a different concept.
Exactly.
In
So
terms
then
of
how,
sushi.
in terms of like the marketing that you do for Pubbelly and everything that you guys have and everything that you're expanding, do you market them differently? Do you try to market them together? Do you group them together?
No, each restaurant is different, and we basically have done non-marketing.
No marketing.
No,
It's
no.
been like pretty much word of mouth from everyone.
Right now, yeah, it's been like that. Now
Which is
we're
the
trying to
strongest
get in-
marketing.
Yeah. Now I think once you hit the locals, it's the most important thing for me in the business side. Is once you hit the locals, you're gonna get the rest.
Yeah.
Because the people want to go eat what the locals eat.
No, exactly.
So we have people that come here 3, 4, 5 times a week. So basically we feed them like every day.
And that's why they probably come here. It's a
laid back place.
It's a laid back place.
You get,
It's that neighborhood. So you really kind of instill that neighborhood vibe.
Yeah.
And that makes people feel good. I
I
love going somewhere where people know what my drink is and what my
Exactly.
food is, and and especially in Miami, that's such a transient town, and we always have tourists and everybody different coming in. You want to get away from that if you're a local,
Exactly.
So that's
You go
amazing.
to you go to Lincoln Road. You sit down in a restaurant. You're not gonna get the.
If you can sit down at a restaurant.
Yeah. If you can.
If you can park and sit down somewhere.
So, what we want to do is that we know people. We know we remember them. We we
That
try
goes
to.
such a long way.
We try to give them like a little snack or something.
calm here and there.
Yeah, because
then you
it's
tell
becoming
everybody.
like so many people are coming so often that we can start doing that.
You're like,
So-
oh, I'll take this one drink off your bill, but I can't do what I normally do. So then tell us about the expansion that you're doing PB Steak.
Well,
I know that's kind of new because when is the opening for that is
PB Steak, the opening is January 8th.
right, so close, around the corner.
So I was just there cooking right now.
I'm gonna give you a break.
We want to do there another expansion of the Pubbelly concept.
Right,
Which
which is
is-
you guys have pretty much branded Pubbelly now. It's like
One
a
of-
trademark name.
Yeah, one of the keys to our success has been the sharing concept.
Okay.
You come here, you don't order one appetizer and one entree.
No.
You get here at least to try 6, 7, 8 dishes.
And you kind of design it so the plates are that
Every
kind of
dish is divided,
size.
perfect to share.
Yeah.
And
Just what I like. I want to eat everything on the menu. When I go somewhere, I don't want one plate of something.
you don't
I'm
want to
like,
get
oh.
a big plate of the same.
And I feel like, especially in the U.S., over portion everything
Yeah,
ridiculously,
that's-
and you leave with half of everything, and you didn't even
don't.
want all that anyway. Like I want to try everything.
We're not, we don't believe that. I mean, like me for the last 9 years, every time I go for dinner with somebody, we're all passing.
split.
You know.
Exactly.
We're not.
So
I don't wanna eat a big plate of
No.
the same thing. So
You want to have those different flavors.
exactly.
and
And that's what we did at Pubbelly Sushi. It's like you go there, everything's small, you get to snack,
Yeah.
like you get to
I could
taste.
start here and I could move over there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well,
We
they
could
call it.
kinda go down
they
the-
call it the Pubbelly
We
Pubbelly
could
crawl.
get like a wristband.
Well, they call it Pubbelly crawl. You start over there
Exactly.
and you're in there, and a lot of people do it.
I think that's great. You can start off
get
somewhere
like
and
a
finish
stamp-
off somewhere.
get a stamp
Yeah,
from
that's what I'm
people.
saying. Like I need a wristband, or you can.
So, PB Steak, what we're trying to do is the same style of dining as Pubbelly, but in a steakhouse setting. So, what we don't want there
You don't want that-
somebody to order their own steak.
Right, that big steak.
No, we want
Yeah.
3 people to share one steak, and we'll slice it for you, and you get a bunch of sides on the
Sides,
table,
yeah.
a bunch of appetizers, salads. We have a main huge, raw bar.
Which is going to be a big differentiator from how most steakhouses pretty much operate
Exactly.
around here. That
Steakhouses are
you get the old 96er, and that's
yeah.
you know.
It's and they can get expensive. I mean,
Absolutely.
meat is not cheap at
No.
all. It's insane, the prices of meat.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get a good quality
Something
meat.
that's affordable, because
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, people are going out for steakhouse. The big name brands that we have around here. It's only a special occasion kind of thing. I could eat steak every day.
Yeah.
Like, for those of us that really like meat, it would be nice to be able to go somewhere and just split, have that option instead of having to, save it for a special occasion.
Yeah. So that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to do an expansion of Pubbelly. Flavors, and it's gonna be a little different. We're trying to go more. I would say more American and European, some Asian ingredients, but I mean, we're trying to make another neighborhood restaurant. Basically,
Right,
it's
exactly.
a bigger space. It's gonna seat 100 people or a little bit more. The kitchen is very big,
Very big,
compared
yeah.
to my.
But you're still trying to have that interior space where you have that neighborhood
Yeah,
vibe,
we
'cause
will-
that's what you kind of.
It looks like a
branded yourself to
it looks
be.
like a lodge cabin. It's insane. The bar.
That's cool.
We're gonna have a full liquor bar there, which we don't have at Pubbelly. We have a mixologist doing like classic cocktails, but modern cocktails at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna become a neighborhood, one of the biggest
You think
neighborhood
it'll be?
restaurants in Miami, because we can afford to do lunch and brunch, which we don't have the space in Pubbelly because we have to use the kitchen to prep in the morning.
Yeah.
So I think
That's
it's
going
be
to kind of give you that.
yeah, I'm actually
So-
gonna be in the kitchen there for 6 months or once a year.
Yeah.
Training.
So that's these have been almost like the test to see how everything was going to go and if everything was well received. And now this is
Yeah,
the
well-
biggest expansion for you guys.
This is our big expansion, I'll say
Yeah.
for sure. Barceloneta opened another restaurant in South Miami yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, which was a big deal for them. They're expanding to South Miami, and for us, to get our name down there. And with PB Steak, we're trying to finish this neighborhood, with this. I mean, I
Yeah.
think this will be the last one in this neighborhood. And we're getting offers to do stuff, in New York and Vegas and stuff like that. But we're trying to focus and
You want to we want to perfect what you have
yeah,
here
we don't
before you start thinking
Exactly.
and get it not looking at what is in front of you.
We have-
making sure that you've.
Yeah, we have a hotel deal in Miami, and we're opening in a year and a half.
That's
and
awesome.
In 62nd and Collins.
Yeah. So
and-
how did that come to be?
Well, the restaurant group was really interested in us. And
Just from being here, just hearing about you guys.
Yeah,
or-
one of the guys, one of the head of the group, was coming to Pubbelly a lot, and they had a restaurant group from New York coming to do it. He convinced his bosses. He brought
just
them
come
here.
take a look and-
he set them down. When they gave him to eat, he told him, I want this guy. So after negotiating for a couple of
So you're
months,
actually going to be in a hotel.
yeah, we're gonna
Is it
open
going to
a
be
new
the
concept.
Pubbelly name or
Yeah.
a new hotel?
It's not gonna be a
design
Pubbelly.
concept?
It's not gonna be a Pubbelly. The name is not. It's not defined yet. The concept is gonna be a brasserie,
Okay.
and it's gonna have, a little bit of everything in a French a
Okay.
Pubbelly French style. You can call it Pubbelly French for now, but it's
Okay.
not. It's not.
But it
gonna,
won't have like Pubbelly on it
No,
necessarily,
and
or
right now the name is not it's not defined. We have a couple ideas and logos and stuff like that, but we haven't decided. But the place is designed and it looks amazing.
is it a large hotel?
It is no, it's like 200 rooms.
Boutique. That's great.
Boutique hotel
Right.
in front of the beach in 62nd and Collins, and we're gonna
Great location.
all the F&B for them. So we got to do the restaurant, the room service, the
So you
pool.
just started off just doing a little, pub, and now you're in a hotel. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it's
that's
crazy.
huge.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we just came from Vegas. That the hotel wants us there, and we went to see a space. I mean, and a lot of offers are coming, but we're trying to take it one at a time.
You're trying to this
Yeah.
is really happening.
Yeah, we're trying to take it one at a time, and not. Even though
And
it's
not
been,
get too- and not,
even
like,
though
spread
even though it's
yourself too
been
thin.
even though it's
Yeah.
been so fast.
How fast has it been since you?
In 2 years.
In 2
yeah.
years.
We opened Pubbelly November 2010. So
And when did you start thinking about opening Pubbelly?
we started thinking about
When you guys were talking about it going
maybe I'll say June.
So
July.
June, and then it was open in November.
Yeah.
You guys moved quickly.
Yeah. I mean,
That was it. You didn't mess
we don't
around.
need,
You knew what you wanted to
don't
do.
believe- we
you
don't
don't
believe-
need any training on
I
how
mean,
to.
Sergio does an amazing job of designing the places and working with the carpenters to make the tables, to making the design.
you guys all
we
knew
don't
what
we don't
you-
we have a budget that
Yeah.
we don't want to make $1 million restaurants, because at the end of the day, to make $1 million in a restaurant, it's gonna take you a long time. We want to make money, so we make places that they have what they need.
Yep.
We take care of them, and they're cool.
Right.
So we.
But that will come. I mean, that's the thing. If you're doing it, obviously people are noticing it and they're
Yeah.
seeing it. You don't want to spread yourself too thin.
No.
You want to focus on what's good for you, and then that what model works.
Yeah,
Anywhere.
we have the model.
You have the model,
and it's been followed through this one to all the restaurants, and it's worked. I think right now to the max. So, I mean, other than that, I don't know what to say.
I want to talk about food really quickly, even though this has been very business related and I love it. What are your signature dishes then at each kind of, what differentiates and how you kind of tie them in, but also try to keep them a little bit separate?
The menu of Pubbelly started really, really small. Like right now, it's been triple. A lot of pork belly.
Mm-hmm.
So we're known for our pork belly dish.
Sliders or something, pork belly sliders.
We have like a slider. We call
Yeah.
it the McBelly,
Oh,
and it's a barbecue pork belly with kimchi, and it's basically we're trying to mix a McRib and an Asian steam bun.
you know how popular McRib is when it comes out.
So yeah, so they had the
So bad, it's so
it has the essentials of a McRib, like it had the shaved onions and the pickles, but it has kimchi and an Asian barbecue sauce, which makes it more conceptual.
Right.
But
That's
I mean,
flavorful.
became a hit since the beginning, and people a lot of people come just for
Right.
that. Then we have the pork belly. We use high quality pork belly. We buy from selected farms, and
Okay.
we're not buying a cheap pork. I just want to say
Okay.
it's a breed. It's a natural breed and
Natural fat.
natural
Yeah.
fat and all that stuff. I mean, the marble is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So the pork belly dish that we became famous for was we confit the pork belly for like 6 hours. It's cooked under fat at a low temperature, and then we roast it in the oven with a butterscotch miso. Then it became like the pork candy of
Right.
Miami. So everybody comes.
That's
for
what everybody calls it.
the pork candy, yeah. And it just melts in your mouth because it's so soft, but it has
But it's got like a.
the butterscotch,
Butterscotch.
miso, and then the corn powders that brings it back to earth.
Wow. So then tell me a little bit about this sushi restaurant. Is it what I would see if I was at like Nobu or Sushi Samba? Or is it, I feel like you put a different spin on it.
Yeah, well, Nobu, Sushi Samba are restaurants that, we're not in the same, I don't want to put us in the same category because we are more of a neighborhood place.
Exactly.
We are more simple, but we're a lot of fun.
Right.
Like the place is packed with flavor. Every dish, everything that
got
you,
something
yeah.
crazy going on. Smaller.
We have
rolls, things,
we have a pork belly roll.
See, that's what
We have
I
a
was like, I knew you put your own spin on it somehow.
There's a sushi roll that has fried clams inside and barbecue pork belly on top, which became a big hit at the beginning. All the rolls are different. I work with Juki, and making the menus. And I love working with Yuki because he's a Japanese guy. He's young and he's very open-minded.
Right. Instead of just the
a lot
old-fashioned
a lot of
stick to,
Japanese
you know.
sushi chefs are very
Yeah.
close-minded. Yuki is open to new things and making, you know,
And
it
you
works,
bring
it
like your
works.
Spanish flair into
Exactly.
it.
So we you know, some of the rolls are out there and we make it fun, you know.
Right.
Everything, but the only thing Yuki is very serious about is fish. The fish.
Has to be fresh.
Exactly. Like, for example, we were closed after.
Because one bad roll, you're done.
We were closed last night. Yesterday we were we closed for Christmas Day, and we opened back yesterday, and we didn't get the delivery in time for the fish, and Yuki would not serve the fish from 2 days before. So
He's like, not doing it.
So
We're closed.
We're basically a sandwich shop yesterday.
No way. But see, that
You know,
I would feel better about that. At least I knew.
Exactly.
I was,
No, you know what?
I would be
If-
like, oh my god, you guys are the best because you're taking care of me.
Yeah, we're not gonna give you like Yuki. His dad was a sushi chef. His mom was a waitress in a sushi restaurant all her life.
I feel like all of you guys have mad heritage of restaurant.
Yuki takes
being
his
brought up in this
fish
culinary
very serious.
industry.
He takes his, and we do very fun stuff with it.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you so much, by the way, for talking with me about
Oh,
all
no.
this. But if you had to talk to anybody who's up and coming, who's starting at the bottom and slicing potatoes in the back of a kitchen and trying to think that one day they want to own a restaurant, what would your recommendations or inspirational words be for them in their future if they want to, if they're scared to?
For me, one of the biggest things has always been, I never like to think that I know it all, or that what I know is what's right. I always have to get different opinions. At the end of the day, I could be right, but I want to know that I'm right through people that are talented,
Surrounding
that I know
yourself
are
with other
talented.
good.
So that for me, it's been one of.
Which is huge because
You
a
know,
lot of people
even when I
my
make
way
a-
is the highway,
yeah.
and I know
Exactly.
exactly what I'm doing.
And a lot
And you sound really humble. Like
A lot of chefs are like that. A lot of chefs,
Yeah.
when they make a dish, it's their creation. They come up with it at home, or they thought about it, and they come in and they tell the cooks that's the
That
way.
is the best.
That's the
That
way
is
it
it.
is. Don't touch it, and they don't think about the functionality of making the dish or prepping the dish, or I make sure that when I make a dish, if it works for the kitchen, the concept. Make sure the servers like it. We have very good servers here that have worked for a long time, and I know they have good palates. And the most amazing thing about working in this little restaurant is that when you're in the kitchen, you can see the people when they're eating, and they can see them.
You can see if they
when
like it or
they're-
not.
When they go like this, or when they
Or
go
they
like
go,
that. So
not feeling it.
so if they go like that, the dish is out the next day. If they go like this, the dish stays.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
So for people that are,
And the people that that wanna one day own their own place
Right.
is a lot of work. You can never stop learning, so you just have to feel comfortable in knowing that you can make your
But-
business work.
and for you, I think that's an interesting part. You are a chef. You come from a strong culinary background, and that's what you were into. So for you, what was that step of, what pushed you over the edge? What would you give people advice for how to make that a reality if they're hesitant about
No,
it?
I have two partners. And if I could do what they do, I wouldn't need them. So they do what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a, I don't know. It's like a
Right.
it's like a
So
marriage.
you feel
I don't
like
know,
having
it's like-
having a good partnership is
because
and you
I-
don't
for
really
example-
and you don't
for
want to
example-
do
yeah,
what
for
they
example,
do. You don't
when-
want to sit down and finance
for
fresh
example,
numbers up there.
the first time I opened a restaurant with Sergio in 2007, 6, we opened a restaurant together, and I saw him work, and I saw what he did, and how he organized the kitchen, and gave me, for example, that relief that I can now concentrate on the food, and he has all that aspect. I was like, man, we're gonna work forever.
Right.
But then he also designs the restaurant, all that stuff. Plus, he helps me in the kitchen, So, and then Andreas, when you see him talking to a customer or greeting somebody, or the way he spread the business, and the way he has made the office, and
Right.
with accounting, and the way we have invested, and
Right.
so you see that. So
So you
I
guys
I can't do that. I'm gonna be very honest. I'm not a numbers guy. I'm not a I know food, and I
Right,
can
and that's
cook.
what you know.
And that's what I bring to the business.
Right. So it's
So-
really important
so
to
I think-
have a strong support
Yeah.
system and a strong
I think,
team.
yeah,
Because you guys
you
are
have to
very
have-
different.
You gotta have all the areas covered if you
Yeah.
wanna make money.
Exactly.
I mean, you can't just, oh, I have good food, I'm gonna make good food. No, you need to have a system that works.
That works, and you guys just got very lucky by choosing the right people.
With Andreas, I feel relieved that he's taking care of that, of the business, and Sergio, I feel like he's, we went together for such a long time that we tell things to each other when they're wrong and when they're right, and stuff like that.
So the open communication has been a really key
Yeah,
part
and
for
it's
you
not.
guys to making sure you're successful.
I mean, 80% of the restaurants close within a year, so
It's a tough industry. So,
It's
I
a
mean, that's the
very-
thing. When I was asking about the space next door, I was like, how are you guys even able to get these, all together? But it's really hard in this industry, and not a lot of people make it, and they're open for a couple of months. And
well, yeah, with
And
there
that's it,
we
so-
with the partners that we have there, we've been working with them for years, so it's they needed our help to get open. We helped them,
kind of
because-
become like a
because
consulting. You're like a consulting
yeah,
as well.
I feel, I completely understand how they felt. They saw us. They wanted to do something the same. They saw what we were doing. They wanted to do the same.
Yep.
They joined us. They have a relief,
Exactly.
that,
And now
that
they
we can
feel like they're
concentrate
okay.
and what we can do.
We can do this on our own. So
And
yeah,
then-
you really kind of took
exactly.
a consultative approach,
And the
which
same
means
thing,
that your model is working.
and the same
That's
thing
great.
on Macchialina. Macchialina, we made a rustic Italian tavern because the chef from Scarpetta, I don't know if you're Scarpetta
Yeah,
and the Fountain Blue.
yeah.
The chef from Scarpetta was coming to eat here all the time. We became very good friends, and he's like,
Can you help me with that?
I want to do something like you guys,
Yeah.
and like, this is what I have. What can we do?
What can you do to
And
make
we
it?
started looking for spaces. Turned out that the landlord had another space where they're at, an Alton and Ace, and we looked for an investor to put, the money that was left. There we have an investor in Barcelona. We have an investor, and Pubbelly Sushi and Pubbelly, we don't have any investors.
It's just
Previous
you
State, we
guys.
have an investor.
Yeah.
But
It's easy to attract an investor when you have such a proven business model.
Yeah, no. Now
And
everybody,
you-
no. At the beginning, nobody
you know.
wanted to give us anything.
Exactly.
Now everybody wants to, a part of it. Like they want to invest. But like I say, our business model is a low budget restaurant that looks cool and nice. We don't want to make.
You don't want that.
We don't want to bring a lot of people in or get
Because that takes away from
and-
the neighborhood vibe, which is
Yeah,
what
and-
you
and
have tried to be.
plus
Which is what people are missing, that tavern
The
feel.
restaurant business is a lot of money spending, and and there's so many companies that are set for that.
Yeah.
Every time somebody opens a restaurant, there's so many people gonna attack you because there's so many ways of spending money the wrong way, and we know that.
Right.
And that's what we don't do.
So it's a very clean, concise
Exactly.
model. Clean,
We have a budget that we set before, and sometimes when we see these budgets, they're like, this is ridiculous. We're not
Because
gonna.
it's nothing. Like, what are we spending money
We're
on?
not.
Nothing.
We're not gonna. But they work.
But it's smart and it works. And
work.
it's obviously
It's a lot of people,
proven to be.
and a lot of people that open restaurants are people with money that want to have their restaurant, stuff like that, and they're,
They'll just throw it there and there,
Yeah.
and then they're like, what did we spend it on?
Exactly.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much
thank
for
you.
being here. I really appreciate
Oh,
it.
thank you for
So,
coming.
Yeah. So here with Wasim and Dean, the founding partner of Pubbelly, which is now like a huge brand pretty much. And I'm Chelsea Taylor. Thanks for joining us in the kitchen.